Welcome to this week's episode of TB3. What's the number, you ask? Number 10! We made it to the big 2 digits. We're here. Some of us didn't think we'd get here, partly me, but I was wrong. We're at 10. Let's see how much further we can get. I'm Joel. We got Colby over here.
Hello, guys.
And the new addition to our team, Luke Alfrey, Colby's brother.
I'm here.
He's way cooler than Colby.
I know. That's what everyone says.
It's true.
I'm the legend.
Yes.
You know. That's just how it is.
So
unfortunately, Will died.
Yeah, Will. Bad news, guys. The reason Luke's here is Will's actually dead. He perished. He watched the Bucs versus Eagles on Monday Night Football, and that was it for him. He's not coming back. He's flying high in heaven right now. But unfortunately, he watched all of the Bucs versus Eagles, so he's just not going to make it. That's just how it goes. I know there's a few of our brothers in the TB3 community that died last night too. So
I died on the inside.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
So you guys heard, you guys know that Luke is in the building. So we are TB3, so we have to have 3. It's the triangle offense, if you will.
It's the Sith the Sith rules of Star Wars.
It's Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka.
But here it's 3.
Yes.
Colby's Ahsoka because he's a woman.
Yes.
What? Ahsoka's cool. The Ahsoka TV show, it's solid.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
We're promoting Disney Plus now.
Give it a shot.
Yep. All right. So, we all know that we've had all 3 of us on the first episode. We all did this one thing, and then Ethan came on for episode, I think it was 4 or 5, and he did this thing. So Luke's going to do it. And now, what this thing I'm talking about is Luke is going to tell us his favorite and least favorite Tampa Bay sports moment of all time. So, Luke, we'll start with the negative so we can end with the positive. But Luke, what is your least favorite Tampa Bay sports moment of all time?
My least favorite moment was ALDS or ALCS?
ALDS.
ALDS 2021 Rays versus Red Sox game 3, where the whole game. It was 4-4 for the longest time. We went to extra innings and lost this game to a walk-off home run. But the main point that sucked in this game was the moment when when Kevin Kiermaier hit a gapper into the gap. Yandy Diaz rounding around third. Hunter Renfroe knocks the ball accidentally into the bullpen where unfortunately, the rule means it's a ground rule double, and for some reason they say that Yandy Diaz wasn't. You can't go from where he was, so he ended up on third, and then Mike Zunino struck out terribly. It was awful. It was terrible.
Why are you making me relive this, man?
Yeah,
bad.
It was a terrible day, man. Me and Luke were watching that together in a room, and we all were going hype because Kevin Kiermaier was having another signature playoff moment because he, for some reason, plays so good in the playoffs and not like that in the regular season. And Yandy Diaz was around third when that ball went in the bullpen, man. That was such a BS call. Bull shark is what I'm saying. And I just can't. I hate it. I hate that. That was the series. That's what happened. The next night was just as depressing, and it was terrible.
I was playing hide and seek during this game. I kind of had the screen on and off watching it, and I had the volume down. And I'm just like, what? What happened? What happened? What's going on?
Hey, at least you're having a little bit of fun.
I guess I probably lost.
I
probably lost the hide and seek.
Hey, at least when it was happening, you hadn't been found yet.
Yeah,
that's true.
Clearly you were.
I was still on top.
Yeah, so that was terrible. But as Tampa sports fans, we've had plenty of awesome moments throughout our 3 teams. So Luke,
Bay, baby.
Tampa Bay. So Luke, what is your favorite Tampa Bay sports moment of all time?
All right, now I'm thinking I have 2 that are tied. I just thought of this.
Do we need to flip a coin or something?
They're both Rays moments. One, absolutely incredible, 2020 World Series. Brett Phillips walk-off single. Airplane man.
Airplane Brett, baby. Airplane
okay,
Brett.
Now, but
Brett.
here's my second one. I just thought of it and it's tied. When Mike Brasso hit a solo home run against the Yankees in what was it 2020?
Yeah.
In 2020, after one of the final games of the season, Aroldis Chapman throws at Mike Brosso's head, so he gets revenge on him, hits a go-ahead home run. We win the game. Willie Adames was hyped, even though he sucks.
That really was storybook. I
That was-
forgot about that.
That was
Yeah.
poetic,
That
dude.
was-
That was
Honestly,
incredible.
dude, I think I got. It's hard to say, but sometimes I think more fondly of that Mike Brasso home run than the Brett Phillips one. I know Brett Phillips is more iconic in his World Series, but the fact that it was off Chapman against the Yankees elimination game, I mean,
It was
oh,
crazy.
come on.
There's
one-
so much backstory
That one,
to it.
Yeah.
the backstory.
Because he
it's-
tried to take out his head, man.
That's a
was
lot
Bush
more
League.
of a low key play that only real Rays fans would really think about. I feel like, and it was incredible. Like, that was a bomb. Mike Brasso was about to charge them out in that game too. It was on a throwaway game. Like, I'm pretty sure we lost that game, right?
Yeah,
It was,
probably. Yeah, I think so.
but
Yeah, no, that was a moment. We miss you, Mike Brasso. Mike Brasso was Harold Ramirez before Harold Ramirez was on the Rays.
Bro could hit every lefty in the game,
Lefty masher.
except for, but he couldn't hit righties at all.
Yeah. So
Let's talk about this Bucs win.
yes, this Bucs win
Win?
that they did on Monday Night Football. No, so we're actually gonna talk about Will's cause of death, and that would be your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football in Raymond James, in front of 65,000 plus. Big game.
30 of
Dang,
them,
that many?
30 to 32 of them being Eagles fans.
30's crazy. I don't know about 30, but it was a lot. But
Yeah, I was hearing a lot of "Let's Go Eagles"
So-
in the crowd. That was kind of disappointing.
no one liked that. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-0. The Philadelphia Eagles 2-0. Something's got to give. Big game Monday night. Got the intro. Got it rolling. We're waiting all day for Monday night, and the Bucs get the ball to start off this game.
Rondé Barber night 2. Let's
Yes,
get this one
yes.
for Rondé.
Rondé, who shut down the Vet in 2003 with a pick six against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I mean, come on, it's destiny.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta
almost
win this game
It
for
is
him.
almost
Yeah.
destiny, and it wasn't. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the ball to start off, and they get one first down, better than the preseason in the first game, and then they punt. They're back to their old ways of getting the ball first and doing absolutely nothing. And then the Philadelphia Eagles get the ball, and they start marching down. Passing, running, doesn't matter. They get into the red zone. 3rd down and 2. They're stopped. What are they going to do? Early in the game, big moment. 4th and 2, they're going for it. And Kenneth Gainwell, down the middle, running the ball, stuffed, and the Bucs take over with the ball. Huge play. Momentum bringing.
You got to score.
You
After
got to
this.
score, and they don't.
And
The
3 and out.
Bucs go 3 and out. Actually, they got one first down. Bucs go 3.
Oh.
Bucs get one first down and go out, and then the Eagles get the ball back again after a nice punt return by their returner. The Eagles march down, and again the Bucs are able to hold them in the red zone and hold the Eagles to a field goal. Very good for the defense. Got to start scoring though, but that didn't happen. Actually, neither team scored. Both these teams traded punts in the next 2 possessions, and then the Bucs got the ball back, and they finally started clicking. Chris Godwin, K-Dot, and all of these guys, Mike Evans even, getting into the action. Baker's looking good. We're into the red zone, 3rd and 9. Baker looks, corner of the end zone. He's got a man. It's Mike Evans. He's open. Caught ball. Oh, nope, not a caught ball. It's dropped by Mike Evans. The Bucs are forced to have to kick a field goal, and the game is tied 3-3. And then the Philadelphia Eagles get the ball right back, seize the momentum the Bucs lost, and march right down the field. And this drive did not end in a field goal. This drive ended in a touchdown with Jalen Hurts throwing a bomb 34 yards to Zacchaeus into the end zone.
And who was it? Dean just missed the interception.
Yep, it looked like it might be picked, but it wasn't. And that was a touchdown for the Eagles. They go up 10-3. And then immediately after, it starts to unravel. The Bucs, Baker Mayfield throws his first interception as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Just
It's
hit him a little
Blankenship, Rodrigo's brother, long-lost brother that is coming for revenge against us.
It was
And
all over the place last
he
game.
was all over the place,
It was-
and he made us feel it. But as the Bucs are driving down the field, or as the Eagles are driving into the red zone, Jalen Hurts pass is thrown and intercepted by Devin White. The Bucs are going the other way. He could go all the. Now he stepped out of bounds. Devin White stepped out of bounds, and the Bucs take over about the 45-yard line. I don't know exactly why he stepped out of bounds, but he didn't. He did.
I think you can really blame that for I think the next play that happens. I feel like Devin White really should have tried to take it back, or at least get past midfield, or like wherever he was, our own 40. Like I feel like he could have got way farther.
Immediately after the Bucs take over.
People in the Tampa Bay sports community are saying that he was like not 100% in this game. He like couldn't run.
No, I thought he got hurt on that play, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
it looked like he pulled up.
I think he was pulling up, and he just was.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
honestly.
so I think he had nothing to give. He could not run.
I mean, he literally got that ball thrown to him.
Yeah, no, it was.
Luckily.
Yeah. So immediately after that, Bucs take over. Baker Mayfield is sacked, and then on the next play, 2nd and 21, Baker Mayfield checks it down to Rachaad White. He makes a move, and boom! From the backside, he is hit. Ball's out. Eagles recover, and the Eagles go down. Use that turnover, make it into points. It's 13-3 Eagles going into halftime, and the Eagles are getting the ball out of halftime. And this is where the Eagles started to flex their muscles. Coming out of halftime, the Eagles drive 75 yards and get a touchdown. They did it in all types of ways. Run, pass, deep, short, middle, outside, doesn't matter. And this drive was punctuated on a 4th and goal, signature Philadelphia Eagles moment, the quarterback sneak with the push. So the Bucs they stopped it once, they weren't able to stop it again, and the Eagles go up 20-3. And then the Bucs immediately go over there and they punt it right after that. The Bucs haven't been able to get much going on offense. It's unfortunate. And then the Eagles start driving again. Jalen Hurts looks to throw right side, end zone, by the pylon, looking for Devontae Smith. And out of nowhere, D. Delaney swoops in, takes the ball, catches it, gets the feet down. It's an interception at the 1-yard line.
I did not think it was an interception. I didn't think he got both feet down when it was initially shown.
Great play on the ball.
Absolutely great play by D. Delaney, and the Buccaneers take over at the 1-yard line. They have not been able to run the ball the whole time. What should we do here?
Let's run the ball.
Yep, we're going to run the ball right down the middle, and Rachaad White immediately is stuffed in the end zone. It's a safety. I mean, just a brutal break for the Bucs. Bad play call. Bad execution.
You could see the safety coming the whole time.
When they handed the ball off, I knew it was trouble.
Oh, okay.
I was praying he was getting out of the end zone. That's all. I wasn't even praying he would get a yard. That made the score 22-3 Eagles. Off the Bucs safety kick that they punt, the Eagles went and drove down and got a field goal, making it 25-3.
You've heard of 28-3, but have you heard of 25-3?
Yeah, have you heard of it? Well, we haven't either. So the
exist.
Bucs finally remember that they are supposed to score touchdowns in football games, and they drive down. They drive down, and Baker's able to find Mike Evans a couple times. Mike Evans makes an absolutely outstanding catch. To just rub it into our faces.
Potentially best catch of
yes,
his career.
It was a great catch. It was a great catch.
You think best catch of his career?
I don't know.
It might be up there.
It's definitely up there.
He jumped, one-handed it.
I remember one catch he made where it was two people were right on him, and he just snatched it away from him.
You can definitely say it's
top. It's up there.
It doesn't have clutch points. That's what's going to take it down.
Yeah. If that was he caught that to keep the drive alive and get us the dub, then it would probably be 1 or 2. But I'll give it top 3 or top 5.
Yeah, that drive was punctuated with a Mike Evans touchdown on the 1-yard line. The Bucs got the 2-point conversion with a throw to Chris Godwin. It's 25-11. Can we get a quick stop, get it back, and maybe make this a ball game? No. The Philadelphia Eagles iced the game on a 9-minute, 22-second drive to not only take the hearts of the Bucs, but take my heart. And they took the whole game. The game was over, ran the clock out, but Eagles win 25-11.
I think that was one of the best running out of the clock that we may have ever have seen ever. I don't know. I'm not going back in the history books on this one, but that's 2/3 of a quarter just on one drive. Let's do some math here. That's a sixth of the game, sixth of the game. Last week I wasn't good at math. This week I'm good at math.
I'm going to say, me and Joel were talking about this yesterday towards the end of the game when this drive was happening. Todd Bowles I don't think he's very good at
Clock
management towards the end of the game. He had 2 timeouts to use, and he just didn't use them. And and you saw what happened. They ended up getting a 9-minute drive to end the game. I just think he's got to get better at that.
He wants to take those timeouts home and put them on his mantle.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
come
He was
on.
saving them for the challenge. He was saving them for the challenge.
He was saving it for the game-winning field goal. We get it.
Well, to be fair, the Bucs didn't stop him either. I don't think the timeouts made a difference. But yeah, he could have called him earlier. I agree.
I know it doesn't matter, but it sets a different tone in the game. Like, it's like, coach is doing timeouts. Let's get up and let's stop him on this set of 3.
He's got a point.
That's fair. No, I'm with you. I've never been the Todd Bowles' biggest fan. So
I'm liking Todd Bowles this year, but Todd Bowles, like, come on. It's like, I get it's our first loss, but it's like, man, I can point a lot of fingers at you, Todd Bowles.
I want to go to the end, man.
I don't want to have to point fingers at you.
Well, I can point a lot of fingers at the performance of the Buccaneers defense, and that's what Todd Bowles runs. And unfortunately, the Eagles were just running, passing, doing whatever they want. They were moving the ball up and down the field at will. So what stuck out on the defensive side for you, Joel?
There was so many holes open for, give me his name again, Speedy guy?
DeAndre Swift.
Swifty guy, that's his name.
He's Swift.
He had like runs where it was just like, wow, the holes are open for him, and he was finding them. So he had that vision, and he was taking full advantage of it, and it was a real heartbreaker for me.
Yeah. I'm going to say for the running backs on the Eagles side, I feel like they were fighting for every single yard. Like every single time I saw them, they're diving, they're running through people trying to get more yards. When it's like Rashad White, he's kind of like, oh, I'm going down.
Hey guys, I got a yard. You're welcome.
We're proud.
They were not going down easy. That's a good point.
But also the defense, what also was not good was the secondary. We don't have Carlton Davis. We have all these unexperienced guys out there playing corner. They kind of showed that they can't. I mean, they can play some defense, but against these top guys like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, it's just a lot of workload for them, and it's hard for them to guard them.
It was not the ideal game for these guys to go down. I'll say it. Like, the Eagles are, I would say, the best team in the NFC. So it's like, and we don't have our starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
49ers would like to have a word. But yes.
I said I would like to say it. I'm saying it.
No, the Eagles are really good. This is the first time that we've seen Zion McCollum. He played last week. That we've seen him get kind of picked on. Unfortunately, Zion McCollum was filling in for Carlton Davis, and the Bucs don't switch their corners. They keep them on each side of the field. They don't have them follow receivers. So there was a couple times where Zion McCollum was matched up with A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown definitely made him look like a rookie.
He's just so
or a
much more
second-year
physical.
Player. Yeah.
Like A.J. Brown's just bigger and physical. He can't do anything. But the point is that also that the defensive line can't just not get pressure on the quarterback because DBs can't guard their wide receiver forever or be watching their receivers forever. Like they got to get to him so that Jalen Hurts has to make a throw, and then that leads to turnovers. But they just can't. They couldn't do that, so that's why he was just running, throwing all over us.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that all facets of the defense were bad. And anytime one facet was stepping up, the other one was letting them down. Like if the DBs were covering, the D-line wasn't getting pressure. And then the occasional times that the D-line did get pressure, that was when the DBs were letting their receivers get open quickly. So it was just overall a pretty poor showing by the Bucs defense, which we know can do better. We've seen it. We know it. We know the talent that they have. So it was pretty disappointing for me to see it.
It's one of those things where it's like the story was just like, it felt good. Like it was like, we got Rondé Barber in the building. He just went to the Hall of Fame. We're celebrating him. We're giving him all the honor. He's the guy who shut down the Eagles in that 2003 game. And to go out like that and have that kind of defensive performance is like, sorry, Rondé, we're not following in your footsteps.
Well, yeah, and you know how you take the life out of a magical story in a live stadium? You dominate in the trenches, and that is what the Eagles did on the Bucs. And it was both sides. Offensive line, mauling people. Defensive line, mauling people. Just to give you guys a comparison, the Bucs ended up running for 41 yards total, and the Eagles ran for 201 yards total. So that is a pretty stark difference between And I don't know how many games the Bucs are going to win if that's going to be the difference in rushing yards.
I don't want to get on Todd Bowles all the time. There's so many Todd Bowles haters out there. I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm willing to give him this year. If they're willing to give him next year, I won't complain. But at some point, we have to say, okay, we can't run against a team like the Eagles. But for some reason, Todd Bowles isn't willing to make that adjustment. He always says, we want to be a running team, but sometimes being a running team doesn't work when you're playing against a team like the Eagles.
Yeah, that's on Dave Canales, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But also, that first half, man, I feel like there wasn't many times where our wide receivers were getting that open.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, he's getting older. It's harder. I feel like it's harder for him. He's more of a physical guy, so it's he kind of gets less open, but he makes up for catches he makes. But first half, he's dropping the catches he makes contested and stuff like that. Chris Godwin, though, was getting open per usual. That's what he does, gets open. But I feel like besides them, it's no one else is there. I feel like they didn't make that many plays other than Godwin and Evans.
Yeah, and I think we spend so much time kind of belittling the offensive line, and by no means did they play good. They played pretty poorly, actually. But the third head of that monster of our offense is supposed to be Rachaad White, and I think it's gotten to a point where we have to kind of put some blame on Rachaad White for the lack of running game. When I watch these games, I think Rachaad White is using too much hesitation and jump cuts in the hole. Mm-hmm. I think he has to be more discerning when he does that and figure out when he should be patient and let the play develop, or when he should just get his head down and try to get the yards in front of him.
He doesn't quite have that instinctive, natural just way to play in the NFL yet. You see in his footage of college that he had that, but in the NFL he doesn't quite have that yet. So we're hoping that it's something that he grows into. But right now, we have to point the finger at him and say, bro, you got to play better in the NFL. You can be easily replaced. Yeah. So if you're gonna put this quality on the field, there's people out there that are better than you.
Yeah.
Or do the Bucs have the salary cap? I was blanking on the word. Sorry, the salary cap to get somebody? No, but it could be done.
I'm also gonna say he does got to make better decisions, but the offensive coordinator I feel and Todd Bowles, he just doesn't get that many plays where he's always running down the middle. He never really gets any outside pitches, outside tosses, outside stretches, where I feel like Rachaad White could be good in those moments, play good, make good plays, just do stuff like that. But he's always running it down the middle where clearly he hasn't had the best success. Even though last week against the Bears he played pretty solid. But I feel like we should get him out in a little more space so he can make a move, even though the one time he caught the ball, he got it absolutely punched out of his arms.
I think a lot of that comes from coaching too. What we were just saying. They're probably saying, "Hey, White, run in the middle, and get us 2 yards."
Yeah.
If you get us 3, that'd be even better.
if he's playing the Bucs D line in practice, then it might be pretty easy though.
Ooh, that's a good burn.
So would be my rebuttal to that. We just talked about how Rachaad White seems to hesitate and not be able to hit the open space as quickly as he should. And when you're running those outside plays, it's a higher risk of getting blown up and losing yards and losing big yards.
Yeah.
And if he's not able to hit the hole right there and make the move and get upfield before the outside linebackers and corners are able to close in on them on outside runs, that might be the reason that they're not running these outside runs.
But are we mixing it up enough? Are they just okay, if the ball's handed off,
the mix was
they're running in the middle.
It good at all. It's we didn't really run anything outside.
No, the play calling was pretty poor last night. I've been pretty I've liked Dave Canales' play calls so far, and I think he's been able to get creative with jet sweeps or quick throws or stuff like that. But yesterday it was pretty much run up the middle or drop back pass. Yeah. There was not really much creativity, and I don't exactly know why that is.
Yeah. Well, also, we're missing Chase Edmonds, and I feel like he's a good running back even though he's hurt. How long is he out for?
4 more weeks, I think.
Okay. Well, he's I feel like he's a better receiving back than Rachaad White, and he doesn't hesitate as much. He goes to the gaps. He hits the gaps right away, right when they open. He hits less juke moves and stuff like that. He goes and gets it, which I feel like we could need. Also, I was going to say a play call I feel like we should call more is I feel like we should call some screens. I feel like yesterday we had no screens. Even for Chris Godwin, I feel like we could run some screens for Chris Godwin. I feel like that's always gives us some good yards. Like, especially because the Bucs always they always try to run on the first play. Like, I feel like they never really throw first play. I don't know like what the statistics on that are, but I feel like we're always trying to run when I feel like I'd rather throw a little screen pass, get 5-6 yards off that instead of going with Rashad White down the middle for 1 yard, negative yards, 2 yards, something like that.
Yeah, the more I think about last night's game, the more I'm kind of like, they really did not mix it up at all. I mean, it truly was like, we're either dropping back and throwing and hoping Evans or Godwin get open on an out route or a go or a slant, or we're going to run the ball up the middle with Rashad White. It was, maybe it was like, I don't know, one of those things where they were down so early, they were trying to keep the playbook simple and not show any of their like more advanced plays on film. I don't know, but that was I think Dave Canales' worst game as a coordinator. But we could put that worst game in a category of a lot of Bucs players in 2023 because we mentioned Carlton Davis was hurt. We missed him. Kalijah Cansey missed his second straight week. We miss him. He was a force when he was in the game against the Vikings. Ever since then, the interior line hasn't been as successful. And if we're being honest, basically you could have said Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Shaq Barrett, and Vita Vea were all hurt too because they were pretty silent and didn't do much. So I think we're pretty disappointed with Shaq Barrett and Vita Vea are two of the stars of our defense, and I don't really think they gave their best games last night.
Yeah. I want to add on.
I think part of that too is, it needs to be said. Like the Eagles, I'm saying it. Like they're the best. They're the best team in the NFC. So like they got to us. They got to us, and they banged us up pretty quick.
No, their offensive line is freaks. Jason Kelsey, Dickerson, Lane Johnson. They're some of the best offensive linemen in football. I almost said in baseball. In football, and I think they showed it. And the good on the Bucs was not able to beat the good on the Eagles, which is concerning, I will say.
I wanted to add on a little something because I feel like we haven't talked much about Baker Mayfield. See, I feel like this is the one problem that Baker Mayfield has is confidence. And I feel like in that game he didn't have much confidence because he started missing some throws and stuff like that. Also, I came to think about that one play where he takes a shot down the field when he has probably 20 yards of running room, where I feel like
third down too.
Yeah, third down. I feel like Baker, in the last couple games, he's ran the ball well. Like, whenever he's had his chance, he's ran the ball. But last night, he did not do a good job of getting out of the pocket and running, especially in that moment. That's free 20 yards. He gets slide down, and we're in great field position.
Yeah, I think
a good point.
Yeah, sometimes I think when you're playing such a good defense, I think you tend to try to maybe overcomplicate things and try to, be the best you can by outthinking them and beating them because they are such a good defense. But that's not when Baker's at his best.
Yeah.
Baker's at his best when he's just cold-blooded, slinging that thing in there.
Yeah.
And last night, he just was not doing that. He was holding on to the ball way too long. He was hesitating, pump fake. We barely ever see Baker Mayfield pump fake a hesitate pump fake. He'll pump fake to juke you out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these were should I throw it there? And then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And even on the interception, there was an open receiver, but he threw it so late because he held onto the ball too long. And it's like Baker last week would have been just cold-blooded ripping it in there.
Yeah.
So I think next week I want to see Baker kind of get back to his just not thinking, you think a little bit, obviously. You can't just go brain dead, but not thinking and just ripping the ball in there, cold-blooded Baker, confidence, all that stuff, because that's when he's at his best.
I think a lot of it, too, goes to playing probably the best team you're going to see on your whole schedule.
Yeah.
And it might have just gotten his head a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see that if we make it to the playoffs, but it's good to see now, clean it up, and if we get to that divisional round or whatever, the wild card round, divisional round, hopefully he's to the point now where it's okay, I'm a Buck and I am ready for this. I ain't shy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like to add a little bit to that, I think maybe the Eagles got to his head, and it's bro, he starts playing and he starts thinking about it. He starts thinking about where he's gonna throw we really want him just to throw it. You just want him to get it out and stuff, because then he's not thinking about it. And I know from my athletic career, if I start thinking about it, I'm gonna start doing bad things. I'm gonna start missing shots. I'm gonna start doing missing throws or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like when you don't think about it, that's when you're playing your game. That's when you're playing your best. So I think Baker Mayfield, he early in the game it got to him. He started thinking about where he was. So then the rest of the game he was thinking about, I missed that mistake. I missed this. Where he's just got to drop that, or he's just got to start off the game strong and be confident in how Baker Mayfield is, because you know how he was at Oklahoma. That's literally Baker Mayfield, the confidence machine. Like, just act with all that swagger he had, especially at Oklahoma.
Yeah, because when you're waiting like that, you're going to lose your window.
Yeah.
So the confidence comes with that window that's still open. So it all kind of ties together. It's just the offense is going to run much better when Baker feels confident.
Yeah, we want you to be a gunslinger, Baker.
Oh,
That's what we love.
Wasn't that was his nickname, right?
Yeah, he's definitely a gunslinger quarterback for sure.
I want to see him go to the middle of the field at the Eagles Stadium and put the flag in the middle of the field.
There we go.
I want to see that Baker Mayfield.
The Bucs better lean into that, like gunslinger pirate or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that is good.
That.
And then another thing we highlighted. So we mentioned the rush yards. That was something we highlighted. I will say we'll get to a positive thing in a second. But another negative is we talked about the turnover battle and how good the Bucs have been this season at winning the turnover battle and capitalizing on it. And I will say the turnover battle was 2-2, but 2 turnovers from each team. So the Bucs differential is still good on the season. However, the Bucs got 0 points.
I just thought about how literally both plays we just gave up the ball right away.
Yeah, no, I think we probably had 3 plays total after the 2 turnovers we created. But yeah, we got 0 points off the turnovers. One of the turnovers put us on the 1 yard line, and we gave them points after it. And then obviously we fumbled right after the interception. So that was not a win in my book. I think the Bucs turnovers is a pretty vital part of the Bucs game, of the Bucs game plan and their success. It was good to see Baker, after throwing that first one, not kind of get interception happy. He only threw 1. Obviously, it was kind of crazy that he hadn't thrown one since until week 3. But in my book, we didn't win the turnover battle, and that was something that cost us big time. And I think, we should talk about Mr. Mike Evans. I got a little, Mike, man, you want all this money, but when the lights get bright, the games get big, you seem to kind of disappear, man. I know he ended up with a pretty good stat line because all of his catches were in garbage time. But in the first half, when the Bucs needed him most, when the game was in balance, Mike Evans had 2 or 3 drops. And these drops, obviously, I'm not catching that ball. I'm not saying I'm going to catch that. I'm not saying I'm better than Mike Evans. I'm saying
he's being paid millions.
Yes, yeah. And we've seen Mike Evans make that catch. But it does seem like all the time, big games, Mike Evans is not the big game receiver for the Bucs through these past couple of years. It's been Godwin. It was Scotty Miller. It was Gronk.
Miller.
Yeah, but it was never Mike Evans, and I think that's part of the reason why the Bucs are a little hesitant to pay it, because he does seem to go away in big games and against big battles, wide receiver, cornerback. He seems to kind of lose those battles a lot. So that's my thing.
Would you Colby Alford? Would you pay him?
Can I have until the trade deadline?
Sure.
Okay. I really just want Mike Evans to change his mind and take a pay cut and be a Buck lifer and one of the best Bucs of all time. Yeah. But if the Bucs start to kind of go in the downward spiral, I think they should trade him. If they're going for it, they should just play their luck. And if they lose him, they lose him, man. I don't know how much you're getting.
It's a salary cap world. Just that happens.
You either gotta sign him for another 3 or 2 years, or you gotta trade him away. Because I feel like if you don't pick one of those, then we just end up in the worst spot.
Yeah, but if you lose him and you just don't have to pay him, is that the worst thing? I don't know.
I mean, no,
it's not bad, or it's not good, but it's not bad
either. He has most trade value now.
Yeah. He's getting less valuable every day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's
every
what
game
I think,
though.
less valuable. I disagree with that because I don't know how high his trade value is at being a pending free agent and also being 30 years old. But he could help a team now. He really could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait for some more injuries to
I don't know.
pile
I saw
up with
some
other
random
teams that
thing.
someone might call.
I remember seeing some random thing, and it was like Mike Evans to the Chiefs, and I was like, bleh. But I was like, man, I guarantee you that would be like and like be great for the Chiefs. Like
It would
I could
work.
see Mike Evans just thrive on the Chiefs, which would be horrific. Like I would just that would suck. But
He would get so much like coverage with the media. Like they finally would respect him for the player that he is. If he went to the Chiefs or I don't know, like the Jets or something, it's like that's sad. It's sad to think about. Like I'm for trading him. Like I think the window's starting to close, and you gotta start planning for the future. New coaches in town, all those kind of things. So it'll be sad, but
I'm for the Bucs.
That's how the salary cap works.
The Bucs just like if the Bucs were like 500 at the trade deadline, that's worst case scenario. Like, please be like, I don't know the trade deadline, but like be like 6-2.
Yeah.
Don't be if you're gonna be like 4-4, and you just don't know what the playoffs are gonna be, and then like you hold on to them and you like miss the playoffs by a game or two. That's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But if you like make the playoffs and you make it and then he walks, it is what it is.
He gave us one last playoff run.
Yep. So, I guess we've been pretty negative. I think we should get into some of the positives.
You gotta give some positive to Evans.
Yep.
He had
He
arguably
did.
one of his
Oh.
greatest catches.
He had a
last
great
year.
catch.
And
That catch was
and
amazing.
he only had one
that
touchdown.
last touchdown we got that he was involved in, that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
It gave the fans that stayed something to root for.
Yeah.
What
and
was-
the Eagles fans something to kind of boo about.
What was Godwin's stat line? Because
He was like it wasn't that good. I think he was like 4 catches for like
well, I feel like
4
I
catches
feel
for
like
38
Baker.
yards.
I feel like Baker needs to like I don't know how many targets he got. I feel like he didn't get that many targets.
Baker and Godwin haven't had the same type of chemistry as him and Tom had. 3 receptions for
See-
32 yards.
See, that's how many targets did he have?
5.
Okay, see, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I really think Godwin needs to get more targets. But also, just think about this. I feel like Godwin should get a couple more. Like I feel like we should give him a couple more one-on-one balls. Give him a little head top. Give him something like that because I feel like he hasn't got that many of those. But I feel like he can win those battles, especially against like I don't know who was guarding him. It was probably Darius Slay.
Slay was on him.
I feel like Godwin's a bigger.
No. Slay was on Mike Evans. Bradbury.
Oh yeah. I feel like Godwin could definitely do something on
I
Bradbury.
definitely think it's a thing to watch that Baker and Godwin seem to not be on the same page completely yet. And Chris Godwin is probably one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league.
Yeah.
So if you're Baker, you kind of got it down with Mike. You got to start getting it down with Chris Godwin because you need both of them to win games.
He's got to get it more down with other people, bro. Because I feel like he just there's nobody else involved in the offense other than
Otten, yeah.
But like honestly, like he, like remember he had a bad drop. What you remember that?
Oh, on the screen.
He had a bad
yeah,
drop.
I remember that.
Like it's
Yeah.
just like bro, you got to be better than that. I mean,
And then I think Trey.
Godwin's catch on the 2-point conversion was good, so maybe
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beginning of the
Yeah, that was a good catch. He was wide open.
We gotta hit him on more like corner routes because his tiptoe and great. Hey, he did catch a touchdown that was out of bounds. Remember that?
Yeah, he was way out of bounds.
Yeah, but I mean, I just
It
want to
counts.
say that
Yeah.
he still caught it. So
That was and then I think I was talking to someone about this today, but the Trey Palmer has not really emerged this season so far like I thought he was going to emerge. He got
Did
a
he play a
touchdown.
lot last time?
He played a lot, but he's not really. He only got targeted once or twice. Like I think Tompkins got targeted more than Trey Palmer. He caught a touchdown in Minnesota, but I think we were all kind of expecting Trey Palmer to like really get on the scene, maybe like 4 or 5 catches a game at least. But he has been pretty quiet
how
so
many
far.
catches he does not have that many catches total. He
No,
probably
I
has
mean-
4 catches total.
It's
Yeah,
sad.
it's
I
not-
forgot about the
that's-
name until you said it. I'm like,
Literally,
oh, that guy.
I just thought about that. Like, man, he was non-existent yesterday. Like I said, anybody else on the lineup other than Mike Evans, Godwin, and Otten, literally non-existent.
Trey Palmer had 1 catch for 8 yards last week. He has 4 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown on the season in a whole.
I was right, 4 catches.
Yeah, that was spot on, Luke. Good for you. Good job. Good call.
I mean, like that's just bad, bro. Like
All
you
right.
can't come in.
Levante David had his best game this year. Is all I'm going to say. He had 13 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss.
Oh.
Good to see Kanye West out there doing his thing. No, he had a good game. There's a few people with some high tackle totals because the running backs were getting to the second level. Ryan Neal had another really good game. He had 11 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Antoine Winfield also had 11 tackles. So the safeties the safety position is probably one of, if not our strongest positions as the Bucs. and it continues to be. But yeah, I mean those are your 3 top performers on defense. So I mean, any positives or things we're taking from that?
Yeah.
I mean,
This is a great team. So to have any good numbers out of the game, it's like you did that against one of the best teams out there.
Yeah, and then also I think they talked about it on the broadcast because Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were ripping on the Bucs all night for some reason. But the Eagles punt returner, I'm going to get his name because I just said punt returner like twice, and I shouldn't be doing that. He's a grown man, and he deserves my name dropping on this podcast he will never listen to. But
Hey, man, you don't
he
know
had a
that.
couple nice returns. His name is, Britton Covey. Yeah, Britton Covey had 3 punt returns for 81 yards. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good. And one of them was like a 40-yard return. And I think Camarda, we love him, but he was out kicking his coverage a couple times, and Britton Covey was making us pay for it. So that's got to be a little bit better. Special teams, I mean, it's other than that, it was fine. But I mean,
it was good.
They've been saying that our punter that day was doing a lot of like line kicks.
yes, he was kicking it too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Buck said that every time because anytime the Bucs screwed up, he was like, "Oh,
Oh, look at us!
Oh, my
Look
God.
at how right we've been.
look at the way Jordan Davis gets in his stance. Oh, he's so good. My goodness, Jordan Davis." That was another thing, man. My trauma was flaring up during this game because Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are Georgia Bulldogs, and I was like getting nightmares of when they were stuffing the Gators back in college, and now they're stuffing the Bucs in the NFL. So I can't get away from those guys. So thank you.
Yeah, Philadelphia has like somewhere between like 6 to like 10 Georgia players on their team right now. Like it's crazy. Like they know they like that school.
They do. I mean, it's smart. It's like back in the day when you draft Alabama players. Like it's a pretty, especially defense. If you draft
Georgia
a Georgia
defense
player,
is just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just always. It's been good for a while now.
yeah.
Like,
So I think we'll talk about this and then we'll get into the next game. But Raymond James was flooded with the Eagles fans last night. Quite frankly, Joel said 30 to 32,000. I think that might be a little bit high, but I do think it was probably 20 to 25. It was a lot of Eagles fans.
It was either half or maybe like a tiny bit more than half.
Yeah.
I was hearing a lot of
It was-
let's
it was-
go
it
Eagles,
was getting loud.
and it was loud. And I was like, man, this is
Oh.
bad.
And then you saw that video of like they put up like the Bucs flag over the like seats, you know, the one that like
Oh, and
roll
the guy
out.
wasn't, like,
and then there was
pulling
like
it?
there was like Eagles fans in the corner and they like weren't pulling it up, so it like looked stupid.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, come on, guys, you guys are just
Like, have a
buzzkills.
little fun.
Have a little class, Eagles fans. Come on now.
That's let's talk about something. Philadelphia fans absolutely zero class. Hate them in every single sport.
They-
Sixers awful. Eagles awful. Phillies. All
They're
right.
pretty bad.
They're all the same
But
people.
but,
so-
but
Flyers.
Phillies Flyers are terrible, right?
Yeah, Flyers are
Yeah.
bad.
I just all Philly fans. Terrible.
We know a lot of Philadelphia fans on this show, so we should be careful.
yeah, but
We
okay.
love you. We love you as people, not as Philly fans.
Yes.
All right, Bucks. Guys, we have to we've seen other teams do this. We have to limit the amount of tickets that are being sold to people not in the Tampa Bay area. I know there's probably plenty of Philadelphia Eagles fans that live in Tampa, but it's football. A lot of those fans are probably flying in for the game because they want to get their little week of sunshine in and go to the Eagles-Bucks game on Monday Night Football. Bucks, you guys have got to limit the tickets that are sold out of your thing. This has been a problem for years. I can remember another Monday Night Football game where the Steelers come to town. And, I mean, we went to the freaking Steelers preseason game. There's so many, and you guys have got to do better at getting. There's plenty of passionate Tampa fans that want to go to the games, and instead you're jacking up the prices so that the people that are traveling in for only one game who are more likely to go for an expensive price are going, and you're pricing your fans out of the stadiums, and then you're making it embarrassing for all of us Tampa Bay fans.
Tampa Bay's got a problem with that because Stu Sternberg's the king of that.
It's the same thing. It's the same story. There's transplants is part of the problem, but they're also outpriced. Like, I mean, I don't think you could get a ticket cheaper than $160 last night. So, I mean, that's not crazy, but it's still like if you're selling those tickets for $80, Bucs fans swoop in, buy them, and there's way more Bucs fans. But instead, you look down the road and there's Falcons tickets for $40. You're like, I'll just go to that game instead because the Bucs play here 8 times a year, as opposed to the Eagles fans who are like, I got to get those tickets. Those are the only time the Eagles are going to be in Florida where I can put my stupid little green toes up on the beach sand and then go to the game the next day.
Oh, it's so bad.
So, yeah, be better, guys. Got to be better.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep.
Lightning, too. Lightning, Bucks, Rays. Got to be better at that.
If you're going to sell your tickets, try to sell them to Tampa Bay fans.
Talk about Rays playoff game, too, man. Like, that one game we went to, so many Red Sox fans.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
We might have that problem if we play the Blue Jays.
If you're
Sneak peek.
if you're 20-something out there listening to us, convert to Tampa Bay. It's not too late.
Yeah, if you have the audacity to convert to a Lightning fan, but don't convert your other two sports, we don't want you. All right, we don't want you.
You don't deserve the Lightning.
Yeah. All right. So, we mentioned it, but the Bucs are right back at it this Sunday.
Can I give one shout out?
Yes.
So, I mean, you got to give the Eagles some credit. On their last drive of the game, they took 9 minutes off the clock. That is 2/3 of that quarter and 1/6 of the game. That's to prove to everybody that I am good at math. Don't remember last week. I'm good at math.
Yeah. Is that true? Is that right? Are you sure?
That's right.
I hope.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go with it. We'll say it with chess, but
I don't know.
no,
It's
we can't think
It's
about.
not right.
I don't think
I
it's.
don't think
I don't
it's
think.
right.
I don't think it's right
because
either.
you said 2/6
It's
of
one.
the game.
It's one. No, it's 1/12.
Oh, no, 1/6 is right.
No, it's 1/12. No,
Yeah.
it's 2/3. It's 2/12. 1/6. Let's go!
Yes, I am good at
I was
Yeah.
going to say it is 1/6.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. Good job, Joel.
Thank you.
So yeah, 1 p.m. this Sunday, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans for their first divisional matchup of the season, taking on the Saints. So the Saints have been my most hated NFL team for a while. So, I mean, what sticks out to you guys in this matchup of this week?
I'm a big excitement. First of all, it's Jameis Winston revenge game.
Yeah.
So that's a little scary because I feel like did he beat us?
So
last time we
them?
blew him. We gave him a bad injury last time he played us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but they beat us because he was
No.
dancing on the crutches.
Yes, that was so. We beat the Saints, but I think that was the year before.
Okay.
But we've beat the Saints the last 2 times.
Okay,
in a row.
okay. Well, I'm a little scared still. Jameis Winston likes to play good sometimes.
Yeah, if you don't know that Derek Carr is dealing with a shoulder injury, so it's very likely that Jameis Winston will be the Saints' starting quarterback
Jameis
Sunday.
Winston, I mean, he's got some good weapons over there at the Saints. Saints, they can score the ball. They lost last week, but I think that's just because Jameis didn't even play bad. I just looked at his stats. I think he had about 120, 150, somewhere around there, yards. Didn't throw an interception. Good completion rate. I mean, he didn't play terrible. He just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And the Saints kicker did miss a field goal. I saw that.
Yes.
He missed a big field
It
goal.
was like a
which-
45-yarder, too. It should have been made.
So that's rough for them. But I'm a little scared because, like I said, Jameis Winston might play up, be like, I want to beat my old team.
You never know with him when he plays us.
Exactly. And, like I said, got good weapons. Olave, elite. He's good. So it's scary.
Yeah. The other day when the Saints played the Panthers, I was watching that game, and the Saints look pretty good. So there is a part of me that is scared going into this game.
Yeah, their defense it's always been good, but it's very good this year to start off. They rank 6th in the NFL in total scoring defense. They are giving up 16.7 points a game, and I looked up at their stats. About every statistical category you could have on defense, they were top 10. So they have a very vaunted defense. The key, we need Baker, we need Gunslinger Baker, and we need a little bit more creativity from Dave Canales coming up.
Yeah,
We need some health in this game. Like, everybody rest up this week because our rival, we're playing our rival.
We need Carlton Davis because I would really prefer if he'd guard Olave. You know.
That's a big key. That's a great segue, Luke. So a big key is in the first beginning part of the season, the Saints have utilized the deep ball very much. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
That's who I was thinking of.
Both those guys are very big deep threats, and they've been able to punish the people they're playing with deep balls. I know that's how they iced the game against the Titans in Week 1. So the Bucs have got to be able to get on top of these deep routes and keep the Saints in front of them in this game to win.
No cover 2.
Something like that.
All right, I was going to say also, this is going to be another game where we cannot run the ball.
Oh, yeah.
The Saints D-line, great. I mean, that's just rough. Like, you literally, their D-line's great. Cam Jordan, been elite for however long. He's just good. So we got to get some creativity there.
Yeah.
Throw a little something outside or hit a little counter. You ever thought about that? I feel like we never run a little counter. I feel like that works sometimes. And then screens. I think we should run screens.
We have to keep the Saints on their toes.
Yeah.
But Bucs offensive line. You hear Luke, and I want you to get hyped up. I want you to get off the ball, and I want you to maul some Saints. These guys are little. New Orleans citizens are annoying. New Orleans Saints fans are annoying. They all stink. I hate them. I want you to get off the ball, and I want you to pancake some people, all right? Offensive line, I'm talking to you, Christian Wirth. I'm talking to you, Feeler. I'm talking to you, Hainsey. I'm talking to you, Mouch. I'm talking to you, Gedeke. I'm talking to all of you. Maul some people. We need some running yards. Just give me like 70, and we'll win.
Do not let the Saints fans get into this game.
Yeah.
I want this Superdome to be quiet.
That's it. That's an important thing for Baker Mayfield. Come in this game, listen to his AirPods, can't hear this crowd, locked it in, ready to go, gunslinging it all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Now hear me out. You know what type of creativity I want to see? I want to see a Baker Mayfield Philly special. Give him a touchdown. Give him a receiving touchdown.
I hate those plays. I hate those plays.
That's what you're saying
okay.
right now?
I mean, why not? Why not? Get some creativity.
Luke is coming here bold. All right, so let's do it, man. It's time to predict, unless you guys got something else.
I'm ready.
All right.
I want some gunslinger shirts with like a pirate with some guns. Just completely off subject.
All right, so I have breaking news. Wee woo, wee woo. Breaking news. Live from the coffin. Will is giving his prediction for this Bucs game. And he's saying that the Bucs are going to win this week 23-16. We'll give you the update. Last week, Joel was the only one that got it correct out of us.
It hurts to be negative.
He hurts to be right. Joel said the Eagles would win 27-17.
I gotta say, I was pretty close.
Joel was trying to tell me how close he was, and I was like, "Come on, man."
Couple things go different.
He's like 2 points on both sides, and it's right there. And I'm like, no.
The safety really messed everything up.
The safety put us all out of contention. So Joel got the point on that, but Will is saying 23-16. So I'll go to the new guy first. Who's gonna win this game on Sunday, and what's the score gonna be?
Bucs are gonna win 21-20.
Ooh,
Oh
too
my
close.
goodness!
All right, I'm gonna give the Eagles a extra point on Will's score. I'm going 23-17.
Okay,
It's good. I was thinking about that, but I think it's gonna be closer.
so we both got Bucs winning. Do I do this?
I mean,
No.
if you want the point.
No, no. I think the Bucs are gonna win this. I think if Derek Carr was in, I think I would pick Saints, but I'm sorry, Jameis Winston's gonna throw like 3 interceptions.
And there goes the 300-yard game. Jameis Winston throws 3 tutties, and it's over.
All right, so I'm gonna say the Bucs win. 17-10.
Whoa.
Low scoring game.
Low score.
Low scoring game. I think Baker's just a little bit better. And I feel like something weird's gonna happen. I feel like we might fumble out of the end zone or something.
I think we're gonna have a turnover tutty.
That would be awesome. That could hit.
Thinking this is what my thought process. We're gonna score. It's gonna be a little back and forth. We're both gonna have 14, and then the Saints gonna put up some more good drives, get us up to 20. It's gonna be 20-14. Good year, great year. I'm just kidding. And then game-winning touchdown for the Bucs. Close game. Baker Mayfield, 2-minute drive left. Gets a 2-minute drive down, scores a touchdown, wins us the game.
Yep. So you guys might be saying, "Whoa, these guys picked the Saints. Don't they know that the Saints have beaten the Bucs in the Superdome 6 out of the last 10 times?" Well, I'll say this to you.
That's not even
The
a very
Bucs,
impressive stat.
the Bucs, it was way less impressive than I thought it was going to be, but I still put it down. The Bucs have won the last 2 times in the Superdome. One last year. No, they haven't. No, never mind. They've won 2 out of the last 3 in the Superdome. One in the playoffs, loss, one last year. So, yeah, guys, that's where we're going, and we're going to move on because
was 52 minutes of Bucs football.
Yeah, we've actually
I just
heard.
want to say you're welcome.
Yeah, we've heard that we've heard from multiple fans that we want more Bucs. So we gave you Bucs. We gave you the rant. We went here and we had a good time doing it.
But there's another team in town we got to talk about.
Yeah.
It is the Tampa Bay Rays.
They kind of stunk this week.
Yep, it was the second
Hey.
to last.
Still 500.
I mean, if you guys want some more breaking news?
could be worse. We could be the
Yeah, we'll
Yankees.
take it.
You guys
Tuesday night breaking news.
The Rays it's Tuesday night, and the Rays completed their win against the Boston Red Sox, winning that game 9-7 in what was really a weird game. But
Still
they
a
won.
little scary, but we
Hey,
won.
man, a win's a win, and we played our AAA lineup. We'll get to that. But, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Here we go. Rays. Head into this week.
This week in Rays baseball.
This week in Rays baseball. Buckle up. It's time to get frisky. And this week started off with, this is a homestand, gentlemen. The last homestand of the season until the wild card round. Or maybe the DS if something weird happens. But the Rays started off this homestand against the Angels. 3 games. And then game 1, Randy Rosarina starts out with a bang. 2-run home run off his Mexico teammate Pablo Sandoval. But the Rays weren't able to really get much going other than that for the rest of the game. The Angels come back and tie it on 2 solo home runs throughout the course of the game. And then an 8th inning to remember. The Rays dropped 4 in the 8th inning, and this has started with a St. Pete Pup special. Oslevis, Basabi, RBI, 2 RBI double, and then Rene Pinto, my catcher, with a 2 RBI single. Rays go up 6-2. Bullpen holds 1-0 on the homestand, gentlemen. And then, I don't know who pitched that. Taj Bradley went 5 innings and only gave 1 run that game.
That's
so
good.
good for him. Sorry,
that was a good first start.
I
One
should
of
have
his better
mentioned that.
outings.
And then, speaking of terrible starts, no one was talking about it, but I'm talking about it because Aaron Savali this next game had a terrible start. He went 3 innings pitched and gave up 6 earned runs. He gave up 2 home runs. No, he gave up 1 home run
many
in the
strikeouts did he
course
have?
of this.
Did
He
have
actually had a
7?
lot. I think we struck out 19 people in this game.
Okay, well,
What? There's only
yeah, we
27
still
outs in the game.
somehow we still struck out a lot of people.
Yeah, we struck out 19 people in this game, so that was all their outs. Aaron Savali, 7 strikeouts, 6 earned runs, 3 innings. So he
Brandon Drury,
all the contact.
absolutely-
He has to figure
absolutely
this out
destroyed
really
us. That's,
soon.
that's where he hit 2 home runs, right?
This was Aaron Savali's has had a few mediocre starts in a row. This was a bad one, and it stung.
The trend's going down. We got to get this thing up.
Next start, he's getting an extra day of rest. Next start, Aaron Savali, it's gonna be a banger. I'm saying it. But in this game, the Rays had like first and second, no one out, like probably every inning, and they just weren't
so
able
bad.
to drive anyone in. They got 3 runs. Isak Paredes
That's
single.
why God created the bunt.
Yes, and Yandy Diaz. Well, we were down by like 6, so Yandy Diaz got a 2 RBI double. But
away,
the
man, chip
game ended up being an 8-3 loss, Angels, and we head into the rubber match Thursday afternoon, 1:10 start. Who's going to come out in the series? And it starts off with a bang. The Rays get a RBI double from Isak Paredes, 1 run scores. They have second and third, no one out, and somehow they don't bring those guys in. It's only 1-0. And Zach Eflin pitched this game, and he was all right. He went 5 innings and 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, good for him. Pretty decent start for him, we'll take it. But those 2 earned runs were a David Fletcher single, put the Angels up 2-1, and then Jonathan Aranda had an RBI ground out, 2-2, and then Joe Adele with a big blast off Sean Armstrong to put the Angels up 2 in the top of the 6th inning, but then the Rays fight back. Manuel Margot RBI double in the bottom of the 6th. And then bottom of the 9th, Rays get it rolling on Carlos Estevez. This starts off, Isak Paredes single, 1 run scores, up to bat. Manuel Margot bloops it down the right field line. It's dropping, drops! And the Rays win 5-4 off a walk-off.
A little Margot zest.
Yes, Margot had a little zesty picture after that. But Margot has been playing pretty good off the injured list. So, good for that. And now we head into our final home series of 2023. It was a great home ballpark this year. We're going to miss you, Trop, for regular season baseball. Plenty of postseason baseball left in you. But the Blue Jays come to town. And in this first game, it starts off as a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. The Rays get 1 early run off Chris Bassett. However, he starts to settle in. And then Tyler Glasnow is opposing him. And this is his first start since his implosion in Baltimore. And through 5 innings, he was dominant. He went 5 innings, no runs, striking out people left and right. He finished with 7 strikeouts. However, a couple defensive misplays and loss of control hits in the top of the 6th. And the Blue Jays end up scoring 4 runs in that inning.
That's really concerning because I think last week we said we'll just have to see what he does next week.
Yeah, it was.
And
I'm not gonna lie. There was a play.
There
There's a play Isak Paredes really should have made.
Oh,
That
I
would have
remember
changed.
that.
That should have changed the
That
game.
would have changed the inning.
Yeah,
You're right.
I can't be too hard on him, but he was charged with all 4 of those runs. So not I wouldn't say bad, but a decent start for him. But not much else happened. Curtis Mead, a St. Pete pup. He's going to be crucial in this upcoming games for sad reasons. But Curtis Mead hit his first home run. The Evan Longoria swing hits into the Evan Longoria zone.
Third baseman. Ooh, it all felt good. It all felt good.
Yep, 4-2. The Rays threaten in the bottom of the eighth, get nothing, and then Jason Adam comes in and immediately is greeted by a Dalton Varsho home run. Jason Adam re-hurts himself. The Blue Jays get another insurance run. The Blue Jays win that game 6-2.
Thanks for coming back, Jason Adams. It was a great 12.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be out for the season, but they actually said, "Do you think he's coming back for the playoffs?" So, yep, that is good. However, the next day was an absolute doozy, and by doozy I mean probably one of my least favorite baseball games I've ever watched. So, this game started off on fire. Yandy Diaz leadoff home run, and then in the first inning, all of this is off Ryu. Josh Lowe hits a 3-run bomb, and then in the fourth, Christian Bethancourt is a solo home run. The Rays are up 5-0, and Zach Littell was backing them up. Zach Littell went 5 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 walk, 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Continues his master class. He also had a blister on his thumb, and he still did that. So good for him. However, some errors really came up to bite the Rays in the top of the 6th inning. This was punctuated. 2 out, should have been out of that inning easily. Instead, the Blue Jays got a rally going off error and a drop third strike reaching. So that was brutal. And the Blue Jays ended up getting 4 runs off that. And then, top of the 8th, 2 outs. Pete Fairbanks comes in for the 4-out save. Immediately throws a wild pitch to let the man on third come in. The game is tied. And then Pete Fairbanks walks 2, hits a batter, and then walks another run in. The Blue Jays take the lead. It was horrible. I hated it. I was so mad. And then, top of the 9th, the Rays just kind of do what they do. Curtis Mead hit a game-tying single to make it 6-6, and then Josh Lowe hits a little line drive blooper right on the line. The Rays walk it off. Sean Romano, what happened? Or Jordan Romano, what happened? So, the Rays are heading into another rubber match. I said they would go 4-2. I'm rooting for a win. Will said that too. Joel's looking for a loss because he said 3-3. I'm kidding. Joel would never do that. But the Rays.
Hey man, there's another game we're playing here.
There's always a game within the game. But the Rays start this off strong with 2 first-inning runs. Junior Caminero, his first major league RBI in this game, 2-0. However, Taj Bradley starts to implode. He retires like the first 5 and then lets 4 in a row reach. And this was punctuated by an inside the park George Springer home run that put the Blue Jays up 5-2. That one hurt. The Rays cut into this lead with a Taylor Walls RBI single, and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extended it to 6-3. Paredes cut it into a 1-run game with a home run to make it 6-5. And then the Blue Jays kept adding on. We put in Erasmo in the 9th, so we kind of waved the white flag. And the Blue Jays win this game 9-5. Taj Bradley goes a career-high 7 innings pitched. However, he gives up 6 earned runs. So a mixed bag for him in that game. And that's your week in Rays baseball. 3-3, win the series versus the Angels, lose the series versus the Blue Jays.
Pretty much give up any hope of getting the division. So
it was already hopeless.
I had hope last week, but then going 500,
you never know. The Orioles
went out the
may
window.
Go 0 whatever, how many.
Maybe.
You still holding that hope, man?
I mean, you gotta have a little bit.
You gotta grow up, man. It's over.
You gotta have a little bit in you. There's times where I've had no hope and things
That's
still
true.
happen.
That's true.
Taylor Walls walk-off home run, never had less faith in a player, and he hit a home run.
I should be more hopeful right now. We just had the whole statue reveal. We celebrated all that. Curtis Mead hits the home run to 162. Anything can happen in baseball.
Well, let's
remember 2011.
Yes. Yeah, and let's remember why Curtis Mead's playing right now. And something is rearing its ugly head again, and that would be the injury bug. It's back for the Rays. It sucks. I thought we were done with this after losing 3/5 of our starting rotation, but no. We have to lose position players now. What am I talking about, guys? Well, I'll talk about it. Randy Rosarino right now is day-to-day with right quad tightness. Yandy Diaz is day-to-day with right hamstring tightness. Both of them should be back, thank the Lord. soon. Robert Stevenson is day-to-day with neck tightness. He seems to be feeling better and should be back soon, but he was unavailable that one game that we blew, and it was like, where's Bob? And that's where he was hurt. Luke Raley has a cervical strain, and he is now on the 10-day IL. They are hoping he can return for some of the playoffs, but it's unclear if it will be the wild card.
I think they said we'd have to get to like the ALCS, right?
CS? Oof. Maybe DS. I don't know.
I could be wrong on that.
What I read was saying they were. It is unclear if he will return for the playoffs. Brandon Lau fouled a pitch off his knee in the last season.
It might have been
That's
Brandon
Lau.
Lau.
I think Luke Raley. It's honestly he literally has a neck injury and it makes his hands numb. So it's all about how he's feeling on the day.
Yeah.
So
it's
very.
Brandon Lau, you're right.
Brandon Lau. Yeah, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. He fractured his knee. It would probably be the ALCS, like Joel said, where you could return. And then Jason Adam re-entered an oblique. He is day to day, and the quote from Kevin Cash is hopeful for a postseason return. So I thought he was going to be done for the season, so that's good news. And then Jose Siri fractured his hand a couple weeks ago. He's on the 15-day IL, and the quote on that is hopes to return for a postseason lineup. So hopefully we'll be getting some of these guys back. But right now, I mean, I'll tell you guys, we won this game. However, I'm just going to tell you guys the lineup just so we can be clear of how crazy it is. Our leadoff batter was Jonathan Aranda. Our number 2 hole hitter was Junior Caminero. Our 3 hole hitter was Isaac Paredes. Number 4, Josh Lowe. Number 5, Curtis Mead. Number 6, Manuel Margot. Number 7, Raimel Tapia. Number 8, Taylor Walls. And number 9, Rene Pinto. So that's a pretty crazy lineup in crunch.
Yeah, but
September.
I mean, at least these players are all. I mean, they're stepping up for sure. Like Mead playing great. Aranda, even though he wasn't playing that good recently,
3 for 4
in this game today, he played great. 3 for 4 with on base and got hit by pitch, so that's on base, more on base machine. Basabi playing pretty solid from what I've been seeing from him. Junior, he's playing solid, man.
So I'll raise this question to you guys. It's pretty apparent now that one of these young Rays is going to have to make meaningful contributions in the playoffs for the Rays to succeed. So what of these guys which of these young Rays do you think will make the biggest contribution come playoffs?
They're not playing him enough, but Oslavis Basaba, get this guy in the lineup. I don't know what the splits are on him, like if he's hitting lefties or righties better. All I know is every time he's in the game, it works. So I could be being stupid right now. He probably only hits lefties, but play him more. Come on, I love him so much, and I think he could keep being hot through the playoffs, and we'll ride him as long as he takes us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go with Mead, man. I mean, first of all, Brandon Lau's out. He's gonna play second base. I mean, he's just been playing great too lately. Just hitting the ball hard, good contact, good hits, and I feel like he's going to start catching on to him, start riding the ball, and it's going to start leaving the park a little bit. He hits the ball hard, so it's going to – I think he's going to hit a couple out.
Yeah.
So, I will be ride or die, though. Tristan Gray should be in
we all
the
agree
majors.
with this.
He from what I saw in the game against the Orioles, he played great. I think he should be in the majors, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, I'm with you on Mead, man. I really I think they said on the radio he has recorded a hit in his last 14 starts. So he's really starting to see the ball well. I know there was 5-6 games where he struggled at the start of his career, but he's starting to see the ball well. I think he hits velocity pretty good. He hits the ball over the park. He can play third or second. I think he's going to have a big playoffs. I like his swing. I like his demeanor. I like where he's going.
Good
I think he's
field power.
Yes, I think he's going to have a very successful playoffs, and I think this could be his coming out party. And on the terms of Basabi, I will say if somewhere to hear Joel's point, they'd probably pull up the numbers and they wouldn't look great over the last couple weeks. However, I think Basabi is a much better hitter than the numbers have been showing, and I think part of the reason that he's not getting those same type of numbers is when he was flourishing, Taylor Walls wasn't playing a lot, and Wander was out, obviously, and Basabi was playing every day. I think he's out of a rhythm, and I think that's the reason he's just kind of striking out so much, because he's playing twice a week or so.
It really is. It's oh, hey, look, he's in the lineup. I haven't seen him in a week. I'm surprised nobody said him, but I'll say him. I said the other guy just to let you guys have the slam dunk on it. But Junior Caminero.
Yeah. We could talk about that right now. Ray's number 1 overall prospect and number 6 overall in baseball, Junior Caminero, made his MLB debut. He came up on Friday. He made his debut in the lineup on Saturday, and he has already recorded his first hit, run, and RBI. So he looks pretty good to start off his young career, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Joel. I think the way today he had an extra base hit, his first extra base hit too. So the way I see him playing, his swing and stuff, he's young. He came straight from AA, so it's a hard risk to bank on that. But he definitely, I could see him, especially if it's lefty, and I could see him making a contribution in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he might have a fun little story. Like, this guy was from AA, and he took control of the playoffs.
Coming off Basabe, looked up the stats here. He's 3 for 11 in the last 5 games.
I mean, that's like 300.
So I mean, is it?
I'm not that good
I
at math.
think
I
it's either 300 to 250.
No, it's
Yeah.
less. It's like probably like 260.
I mean,
I'd take
that's
it,
not.
I'd take it.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, he's playing. He's pretty. I mean, he's playing good defense.
I think there was a point where he was like 4 for 40 is the number I remember hearing. So,
Oh, that's pretty
but
bad.
I think he's coming back around, and I like his swing. He strikes out a little bit too much for him to be the contact hitter that I think we all know he can be. So he's a little over anxious sometimes at the plate. But I like Basabe. I think the way Taylor Walls have been playing defense, I'd rather see Basabe than Taylor Walls because Taylor Walls isn't really playing elite defense right now.
Yeah,
That's true.
I want to say, I'm going to talk about a seasoned vet, a legend, Manuel Margot, playing very well in his last 5 games, and today, including played good today. I know that he had a couple RBIs, stuff like that. He batted 388 in his last 5 games, and he had 7 hits, 2 doubles, and I mean, I would say that's solid. He's hitting. I mean, he had good RBI chances, scored some RBIs.
He has a 921 OPS over the last week.
That's great.
Every time I'm ready to give up on him, he's like, "Oh, let me just hit 333."
Manuel Margot,
he's
you guys
stepping
got to
up right now,
remember,
which is big.
he is a playoff performer. If you guys don't remember our World Series run, I will take this to my grave. He was the second best position player on the Rays. He was making plays. He hit like a 3-run home run against the Astros. He made that insane flipping catch into the dugout.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
He's a playoff performer. Even like the Guardians miniseries last year, I feel like he was the only one getting hits. So I like Manuel Margot. His bat is better than Series in a big game. But, I mean, obviously he misplayed that ball, and that was the inside park home run. That his defense is not as good as Series. But I do like the way Manuel Margot's been swinging the bat.
I mean, I like Margot a lot in right field. Like, I think he's good in right field. Like honestly, like what I saw from today from Josh Lowe, I saw him drop a little pop fly out there.
He gunned someone,
bad.
though.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
He got it back.
But I feel like Margot has a good arm. Like, I feel like he has a good accuracy. Like, his arm isn't as strong, but whenever I see him throw people, he's got good.
You guys know what happened last week?
What?
Harold Ramirez was in right field, and he gunned someone down at the plate.
Whoa.
So I'm just saying, Harold for Gold Glove, huh? Okay.
Why didn't he play today?
Because it was Durham Bulls. We weren't playing. It wasn't Tampa Bay Rays.
Durham Bulls night.
Yes.
They should have had a giveaway for it.
That would do at Fenway Park. That's nothing else better to do in that
Hey,
crap
kids
hole.
don't eat free today.
Nope, they don't eat free. So yeah, I mean, last week I think this was funny. I was doing the numbers, and I remember last week we were kind of mad at 3 players for not playing well in the Baltimore series, and those players were Yandy Diaz, Josh Lowe, and Isaac Paredes, and they all had massive weeks. Yandy Diaz was 8 for 17 with a home run and a 1336 OPS.
388. That's what he's batting. Because that's the same thing that Margot did.
388. Okay. No.
Oh no, it's
Two, 280. No.
Wait, no.
No, it's like 500. It's 8 for 17.
Yeah, it's more.
No, and then Josh Lowe was 6 for 16. He had a 444 on base percentage and a 1,069 OPS. Isaac Paredes had 6 RBIs last week and 899 OPS. He got his 30 home runs. He's at 95 RBIs. Come on, give me 5 more RBIs, Isaac. Get to that 100 RBI
That'd be
threshold.
nice. That'd be nice.
He can get that. That's his goal. I remember hearing it on the broadcast. They said that's his goal this year.
He could get it.
Yeah, he can definitely get 5.
Just get a nice bases loaded appearance.
I mean, he likes to hit 3-run home runs.
Harold hit another home run last week, so good for him. Oh yeah. So honestly, the pitching last week was pretty mid, but Zach Littell was not mid. He went 5 2/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts, and this is like 4 or 5 straight games where he's been absolutely bomb.
We won that game, right?
No, that was the game that we blew the lead and then came back and won.
Okay. I mean, at least breaks the curse. You know, the Zach Littell curse.
Yeah,
classic
we got him
curse.
some run
No,
support. We got
but
him
yeah,
some
but
run
then he didn't get the win. It's
Hey,
the Zach Littell win curse, bro.
But in his
Like,
heart, they
his
won,
win, not
we
obviously
won,
the Rays
We won
won.
the game because I mean the Zach Littell curse has been crazy.
No.
Every single game, it's a pitcher's duel or something. I mean that's the first time we gave him run support, and then our bullpen comes in and then they're like, you know what? We're just gonna not continue what Zach Littell was doing, and we're gonna give up some runs.
Yeah, no, he's been pitching so good. Like I said, he had a thumb blister, and he still went. He gave up. He still went almost. He should have gotten 6. If Curtis Mead makes a routine throw, he gets through 6 innings, and it's amazing. Instead, it got a little hairy over there. But yeah, he's been great. I guess he's the 4 starter, and we feel good about that going into the playoffs. Honestly, he's been pitching so good. And so let's get to. We already talked about it, but I mean, what are you guys seeing from Aaron Savali? Like, what do you guys think is the problem?
I don't know. It's just like something hasn't translated. Like I haven't looked into it too deep, but it's just
Yeah, same. I haven't
there was a lot of those things I had said when we made the trade where it was like this might not work out. The Cleveland selling high.
See, but here's the thing. I remember one of the things you were talking about was whiff percentage, swing and miss, and he's getting more swing and miss than he's ever got. His strikeout numbers are skyrocketing.
Was
with
it
the Rays.
whiff or was it the the other one where it's like kind of like ERA?
Maybe, I don't know.
It was the kind of like ERA one. It was showing that he was getting.
But I do know that Aaron Savali's strikeout numbers has increased, and his ERA has increased right with his strikeout numbers. So I think, I don't know how you kind of game plan people to swing, but he does have to kind of try to get back to maybe saving that curveball a little more. I know it's a swing miss pitch, but it is a high risk pitch.
I think that's part
that's
part of
what
what
his
coming to
problem
Tampa
is.
Bay is that when you're in Tampa Bay, you want that strikeout because you want to give everyone team a lot of flats.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I feel like a lot of our pitchers, like they talk about it, how they go through quick innings. Like they always talk about how Glasnow and McClanahan are strikeout pitchers by trade, but as they've grown as pitchers, they've become way more soft contact guys, and the Rays have worked like steadily on that. So that's why this to me is so weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree with you on the curveball. I feel like his curveball, like he's throwing it too much, and it's a good pitch, but then he starts hanging it, and that's where he gets banged around, and that's where his real problem is. You know. Also, I feel like his cutter has not been that good, right? His cutter. I feel like whenever I've seen him pitch, it's like he'll throw that, and it's like that's kind of BP. That's how I feel about Taj Bradley. The cutter just.
Yeah, Savali's is better than Taj Bradley's.
Yeah,
but
it's just like I really do think it's the curveball though.
Yeah,
He's been throwing it too much.
I think it's just his command is not as good as it could be. I think he's a very Zach Eflin type pitcher. In my book, it's the same repertoire. That's what I was talking about when we got him. But he's not locating, commanding like Zach Eflin is. So he just needs to kind of work the zone. Brian Anderson always says, like, get that little diamond in the zone, get the top 2 in the middle, get the insides out, make a little diamond.
Well, maybe
he just needs to work around, because I think it's kind of gotten to a point where he's throwing either elevated fastball cutter and it's at the top of the zone, or the curveball is at the bottom of the zone. He needs to kind of mix his pitches and move around just a little bit better, I'd say.
Does he have a slider?
I think he does, but it's something he uses very rarely.
I was going to say, he has his strikeout numbers are going crazy up, but the problem is maybe he's filling up the strike zone a little too much. Maybe he needs to get the ball out of the zone a little bit, because if his strikeouts are up, but he's still giving up he's giving up more runs. He's probably He's probably filling up the strike zone too much, and they're banging him around there.
Throwing too many meatballs.
And you mentioned it, that one, the stat line, I forget what it is, but it's basically like if a pitcher's getting lucky or not. I know that was high for him, so meaning like he's kind of lucky, he's getting lucky, like people are hitting line drives out into the outfielders, which probably have been happening less with the Rays.
Yeah, I mean, he's got time to fix it between his probably last start of the regular season. Then he could fix it up in the postseason. But the other nice thing is we have control over him for the next couple of years. So maybe a spring training with the pitching coach, and he figures it out, and we have that next great pitcher, because we're going to be short a couple pitchers beginning next season. So if we have an A+ Zach Littell, That'd be not Zaclateli. I always mess up the
Savali,
name.
that's fair.
Yeah, it's like the Latali, Savelli. If we have a good Aaron Savelli next year, that'd be nice.
So the statistics that you guys are referencing is FIP. It is the fielding independent pitching. It is when you it is the stat that takes away all elite defense or great plays and gives what a mathematical equation of what your ERA would be with bang average defense. All right. So his ERA right now is a 3.343. And his FIP is a 3.75. So the fact that his FIP is higher does kind of prove your guys' points that he might be getting a little lucky, especially in Cleveland. It's not a huge jump, but I think you kind of talked about it. I think the cutter is a key pitch for him. I think if you can locate that, that's how you get that like weak ground ball. That's how you get that pop up early. So locating that cutter is going to be something he needs to work on because we're going to need him in the playoffs for sure. Because Zach Littell could be your 3 if you don't step it up, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, yeah, guys, I think we should just predict this upcoming week. Did I have anything else? Taj Bradley, congrats on going 7 innings. Stop throwing the cutter.
Yeah. It's too hard right now to say who we're going to be facing in the wild card round.
Oh, yeah. We could talk about it.
You literally look at it every day and it changes. It could be the Blue Jays. It could be the, I'm trying to think of the
Rangers.
Yeah, I think Astros are more in second these days. Could be the Astros. Seattle might sneak back into it, and then there's one more.
Well, so here's what we get: Blue Jays. So
Blue Jays,
right now we are locked into the one wild card, the number one wild card. If the season ended today, we would play the Blue Jays at Tropicana Field. However, Houston and Seattle are only. Houston is 1 back from the Blue Jays, and Seattle is a game and a half back of Houston. But Seattle is in progress of playing Houston for 1 more game and another game tomorrow. And then also Texas is only 2 up in the AL West, and Texas plays Seattle for 4 this weekend. So does
the 1 play the 2?
The 1 wild card does play the 2 wild card. Okay. So it'd be the 4 would be playing the 5.
So I'll give a kind of peek to my prediction for this week. It really looks like we're going to be playing the Blue Jays, and we're going to be very familiar with each other by the end of it.
I hate that.
By the end of this, because we're playing them, we just played them. We're playing them this weekend, and then we're probably going to be playing them in the postseason. So we'll see who learned the other team the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. It might be one of the reasons why the Rays might kind of hold people back. I don't think any of our top 3 will be pitching on that last series. You don't want to cook them for a Tuesday wild card game. But yeah, I guess if we were to everyone pick, what would be your Texas, Houston, Seattle, Blue Jays? That's your 4 options. Who would you want to play the most?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas. I mean, they have the weakest pitching staff.
I mean, just worst pitching staff, worst bullpen. Like, it's just if we have one good pitching game, we should be able to hit off them well.
The offense is a coin flip some nights.
Yeah,
I would say Blue Jays.
I
think we'll take care of the Blue Jays the easy way.
I think they're going to be reading us like a book.
Yeah,
but we might read them like a book back.
Bro, there's just certain players on the Blue Jays that are just. They are, first of all, playoff performers.
No,
none
of them are playoff performers. Chokers.
Springer.
No.
Springer.
I'll give it to you, but that's
Kevin Kiermaier. We've seen it on the Rays. He's a playoff performer.
I mean, he's a playoff defender. No. I wouldn't give him any credit
I'm telling you, I would be scared of the Blue Jays because Springer literally rails the Rays.
I mean,
he destroys us.
I see where you're coming from because Hung-Jung Ryu is.
And this is what's gonna happen.
Has been pretty good in the postseason.
I think Kevin Kiermaier.
Got 5
if we play
like
Kevin Kiermaier, I think he would play good against us in the playoffs. And they're gonna put Kevin Kiermaier in the 9. George Springer's leading it off, and George Springer's gonna hit. He's gonna have a lead. He's gonna have 2 home runs or 3 home runs in the series.
I don't think so.
I do hear you.
And Vladdy. Was it 2 home runs?
Yeah, but that was off Taj Bradley and Erasmo.
The Blue Jays
Ramirez.
haven't proven anything in October, but at some point, I think they will. So
yeah, I think the Blue Jays offense is not good enough at bats. I think our pitching will absolutely silence them if we played them. And Texas would be my number 2, and I would not really want to play Houston. Either Texas or Blue Jays. If we play either of them, I will come next week feeling like it's an easy W, to be honest with you. Even, honestly, all 4 of those teams I feel like we should and will beat. But that's me.
I'm scared of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm not.
that's
They just got swept by the Royals.
That's the Jolly Roger talking over there. Remember that.
I'm
It
scared.
is.
I mean, actually, they just know the playoffs.
I'm the Sting Dre.
Yeah. But so yeah, just keep your eyes on all those teams.
Yeah.
Texas, Houston, Blue Jays, and Seattle. We'll figure out who we're playing. The plan is we're going to do a separate Rays episode before the Wild Card Series next week. So you get your normal podcast episode, and you'll get a separate playoff preview episode, probably coming out the day before the playoffs. And then the podcast will come out some other time. But get excited for that. We might have some special guests on for that episode. It might be awesome. And we're going to talk all Rays for that. And we'll talk about the season and what it's been so far. And then we'll also talk about what we think about the wild card matchup. So, with that being said, let's get to some predictions about these Rays. So, the Rays have 5 games. This week. They have 2 in Fenway Park. To be honest with you guys, like we said, they've already won 1 game
Are we
in
counting that
Fenway.
one?
Just do the overall record, but just don't cheat. Whatever you thought before, just do that. And then they have 3 in Rogers Center against the Blue Jays. Like we mentioned, we'll be seeing them a lot. So, I'll go first. I'm going to say the Rays are going to go 3-2. And Junior Caminero is going to hit his first Major League home run this week.
Okay. I'm gonna say, feeling confident, 4-1.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. I think we're gonna have a 1 loss to the Jays in one of those games. I think we're gonna get this little easy dub against the Red Sox, and I want Josh Lowe to hit another home run so he can join the 2020 club.
Okay.
Yes.
I had said a second ago that the Blue Jays and us are seeing a lot of each other, and I just don't think it's looking good. I think we're going to go 2-5 this week. We got the win.
2-3. We only got 5 games. We got 2
yes,
and
I'm sorry.
2 and 3.
Okay, we're going to be losing. We're splitting this Boston series, and then we're losing 2 of 3 against Toronto.
So
Okay.
2 and 3.
So yeah, we're going 2-3, and yeah, it's just. We're kind of trending downward. I don't think it's looking good for us. It'd be awesome if we make it out of this first round of the playoffs, but you don't get your hopes up with the Rays.
Yeah, but I will, and I'm gonna say we'll get to that later. But I'm still, as long as Randy and Yandy play, I feel good about the Rays. If they don't play, then that's different. Who is your home run?
Let's go Paredes. We got to get some of those runs.
Yes, need those RBIs. 5 RBIs this week, Itzhak, and you get to 100. Yeah, so I'm just putting these in right now. Oh, I'll tell you guys. So, Mr. Will Sturts, I got breaking news again from the coffin. Will Sturts. Oh, Will Sturts also thinks Josh Lowe is going for the 2020 club. He picked Josh Lowe for the home run, and he says the Rays will go 3-2. So, we'll update you. Last week, Joel got it correct. He said 3-3 the record, but he picked not the right person. I don't know who you picked.
I couldn't even.
He picked Randy Arozarena to hit a home run, and he did not hit a home run.
Instead, he pulled a muscle.
Wait,
Yep.
does it not count the 1 run he hit? The 1 home run?
That
against
was-
the Angels?
Yes.
I said he was going to get.
We
2
had already
home runs that week.
watched
Okay,
that
okay,
game.
okay.
Yes.
I thought
clear
I
up.
thought he was about to get hot.
He's asking
but
what the
he did
fans want to know, and we'll clear it up for
Yeah,
you. Yes.
thank you. Yeah, that's
And
good.
then
Good
I
point.
said 4-2. I was wrong. However, I did say Yandy Diaz would hit a home run, and I was correct on that. So I was 1 for 2. Will was 0 for 2. He said 4-2, and he said Taylor Walls would hit a home run. Neither of those happened. So step up your game, Will. Yeah. So I guess we got to get to our final segment, and that is college football. And let's get the cupcake game out of the way, even though it was a little sketchy and a little close. And I'm talking about my Florida Gators, and also Luke's Florida Gators. You have 2 Gator fans on the panel. Just keep that in mind.
I'm a Gator observer. I like the Gators.
You're 50-50.
I can keep this game
Yes.
simple. In my eyes, there's
you know how they have those like
house
house split flags.
That's your soul.
I'm a person who's split out of.
Yeah, so the Gators ended up beating the Charlotte 49ers 22-7. I don't think we mentioned this, but Charlotte is actually an American Conference team. The USF Bulls will play them later on in the season. So there's not like an FCS team, but the Gators did struggle, 22-7. The Gators were very shorthanded. They had numerous injuries, starting center, one of the best receivers, and then a couple other linemen, defenders, all that stuff. And then there was also multiple people that were suspended for the first half, and some of those guys just didn't play in the second half for that Tennessee stupid brawl that was caused by Josh Heupel. But, yeah, I mean, what did you guys see, man?
I just think that this game simply was there's parts of it where I think we're trying to lay back, chillax a little bit because I really we didn't want to get in more injury trouble than we already had. So I think we just want to get this dub out of the way, keep it healthy, keep it clean, stay solid for our next week game because that's big game, Kentucky.
Big game.
I think we just want to get our health back, and so that we took this game easy. I mean, clearly we still got the win, so that's all that matters.
I mean, they started out hot out the gates. Charlotte never really got into the game. By the time they did, the game was pretty much over. The Florida had a multi-score lead, and it looked good. The defense was good. It was a good game.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's talk about Slick Rick and the catch he made. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I gotta watch the replay.
Oh my goodness, Joel. Okay, Joel. You
I-
got to
I-
see
I-
that. It
I-
was
I'll
an
look it
insane
up, I'll
catch.
look it
And
up.
I'm not going to lie, it was probably one of the best catches I've ever seen. Some people were saying it was better than Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch. That's actually what someone said and tweeted. I don't think so.
I can't say that, but it was a good catch.
It was an insane catch.
I think
It was
more of the
ridiculous.
crazy part of it is how he held it, how he got it into his chest and held it.
And he got
after.
smacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he got hit hard, and how he held on to it and completed the catch.
Yeah, the Gators were very sloppy, and it was tough this game. They were 1 for 9 on third down. They had 2 turnovers. They were 1 for 5 in the red zone. It was an absolute.
That is a really good catch.
Yeah, it was there. That's live reaction.
Reporting live. That was a really good catch.
So, yeah, the Gators were so sloppy in this game, and it was partly just some mental mistakes, and it was partly having backups. Yeah, it was a crazy catch. I was stunned when I saw it. But they were sloppy. They can't be having mental mistakes like that. That's how they lost the Utah game, and that's how this game was close. They can't be doing that going into the Kentucky game. However, a big question was answered, and that was from Florida Gators kicker Trey Smack. I know Joel loves his kicking game.
Let's go.
Bro's the starter.
After taking over for Adam Mihalik, Trey Smack went 5 for 5 on field goals in this game, including a 54-yarder. And they were down the middle, they were beautiful, and he's starting kicker, and we seem to have figured out a problem. If all that game was just to let Trey Smack kick, it's fine. All right, that's
How many
good.
field goals did they have in that game? I meant to count them up.
5 for 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not fun to watch. I'll be honest. I did not enjoy that we weren't scoring touchdowns, but it was, I don't know. It was just
it
a
was
sluggish
a
game.
practice game for the guy.
Still,
You're
yeah.
right.
Still a win.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, so
you got the practice and you need
Joel and Luke mentioned the defense. I just want to give you guys some stats. The Florida Gators in total defense, as in yardage, are number 5 in the whole country in total defense and number 1 in the SEC. So those boys are flying, those dogs are moving, and they're becoming a vaunted defense, and it's in front of our eyes. It's great to see. Shout out Scooby Williams, absolute dog.
It's kind of funny, the Miami Dolphins had 7 touchdowns this week,
Yeah.
and the Gators had 5 field goals.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything can happen in
Man.
football.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins seemed like they were playing an FCS school on Sunday, but that's a different story.
That's for another day.
Yes. Let's look ahead because this is one of the biggest games of the season. The Kentucky Wildcats will be hosting the Florida Gators this season. Kentucky, after losing 30-something in a row, have won 3 out of the past 5 meetings, including 2 in a row against the Gators. They starting to get some confidence. They're at home, but the Gators are trying to build back that dominance that they once had over the Kentucky Wildcats. It's a noon game, ESPN. Start off your day right, hopefully for me and all of our Florida Gators fans. But, before we predict it, I just want to say that Gators, all your offensive linemen, hopefully Mr. Kingsley will be back. You guys, if you guys block, like you blocked in the Tennessee game, you get off the ball, the running game gets going, we will win this game. If you guys, no false starts, no turnovers, no busted coverages,
That's what happened last year.
we we will win this game. All right, so we're gonna predict it. I feel good. This is a huge win. This is the difference between stuck in neutral for the Gators or propelling to what could be a 6-1 start going into the Georgia game. So, Joel, what's your prediction?
So Kentucky hasn't played anyone good this year. I'll admit that, but they've been putting up a lot of points. I thought I wrote it down, but I think it was over. I won't say, but it's been a lot of points. Like they're scoring, so it's something for Florida to be aware of. I think Florida will keep the score down a little bit just because they're the best team they're playing so far. So I'm not gonna give the Gators the love that I could, just because it's a real game. It's not a cupcake by any means. I'm gonna go Kentucky 31, Florida 24.
I can't fault you for it.
I'm gonna go. I'm a Gators fan. Gotta stick with them. I have faith in them getting the win. I'm gonna go Gators 31, Kentucky 21.
I like that score. This might bite me in the butt, but I think the Florida Gators are going to come out on a mission this Saturday. I think they were sluggish on this past Saturday, and I think they're going to be getting these players back, and I think they're going to flex their muscles and show the Kentucky Wildcats what they're really made of. And I think the Florida Gators are going to win 41-24.
So to put my statistic in order, they've gotten more than 35 points in 3 of their 4 games.
Okay. Yep.
So I mean they're scoring offense. So
yeah, but they really.
It's cupcakes. It's cupcakes, but they know how to score.
This is one of the best defenses in the country, number 5 total. So we know. So let's get down back to the Bay, back to your USF Bulls, back to a huge win. The USF Bulls get their first American Conference win in their first American Conference game. I mean, they win this game 42-29. And it was absolutely electric. And you can't say electric without saying Byron Brown. This man went off. He was 22 for 29 with 435 yards passing. If he could have done 100 of those, they would have beat Alabama. And he also had 82 rushing yards, and he had 3 total touchdowns and 0 turnovers. Absolute freak, guys. I mean, what did you guys see this Saturday?
You can go.
I mean,
not before beauty, the other way around.
I didn't watch much of the game. Saw his stat line. To me, it just shows that he's going to be a future great quarterback for the USF Bulls. I mean, I know he's a freshman. That showed clearly he just balled out. So
it was great. It was great to see. The Alabama game was there. It was rough. Couldn't make the plays he needed to. But in this game, he did. So it's okay. If you're playing similarly skilled teams, you can do it.
Dude, this is what we were talking about. This is what I was talking. I ranted. I was like, USF, you have got to get this momentum from this close game and put it into a win. And that's exactly what they did. Another freaking dog on USF, Naeem Simmons. He had 8 catches for 275 yards and a touchdown. That is ridiculous. That's 40 yards a catch. Almost. Less than that, but almost. That is insane. He was just going on go route slants, doesn't even matter. He was absolutely flying around the field, and it was amazing. And then also, Rice tried to run the ball 20 times. You know how many yards they got?
2. That's my guess. I don't know.
You were very close. It was actually 1. 1 yard on 20 attempts.
That's
JT
wild.
Daniels kind of slung the ball around, but they were one-dimensional. And, I mean, so from those two things, the 275 yards rushing or the 1 yard allowed, what is more impressive, guys?
I think one. That's crazy.
Opposite of the Bucs.
They went backwards so many times for something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, oh, I should throw in a defense stat, and I was like,
what was the tackle for loss in this game?
Don't even know. I didn't look, but it wasn't. It was 7 or 8, I think. But
okay, so that's not bad.
No, it's good. Also, shout out USF. They were going in to go up 2 scores, and Naquan Wright, I'm pretty sure, fumbles on the goal line. Rice picks it up in the end zone. Rice gets the ball, immediately scores a touchdown to go up by 1, I'm pretty sure. And USF, after that moment, dominated the game. I thought that was the moment that USF was going to USF. It was going to be classic. USF blew it again. They can't win big games. They can't win conference games. And instead, they just went right back down and scored. I was shocked at that.
That was Chef Golish running this team.
Yep, shout out. Congratulations to Alex Golesh. That is his first American Conference win. It's also USF's first American Conference win since 2021. Congratulations to everyone involved. And we look ahead. USF goes into Annapolis to play at Navy. We know Navy has the triple option. A lot of running, a lot of grit and grind. They're protecting our nation after they play football. They're tough, but I really like USF's chances in this game, man. You guys got anything you thinking about in this game?
Wait, how much did USF score last week?
42.
Okay. So are we giving predictions out right now?
Sure, we can predict if you guys got anything.
I'm gonna go. I think another big scoring game from USF here. I'm gonna go 38 to 27.
USF wins.
Yes, USF wins.
All right, I like that.
This game is going to be really fast paced. I'm going to go a little lower on the scoring. I'm going to say USF 27, Navy 24. So I think it's going to be close.
Game winning field goal?
Sure, let's go for that.
That's
I'm going to be on the edge of my seat.
You guys both have this game being close. I have a sneaking suspicion. I think USF might run these boys out the building. I know Navy's tough, they're gritty, but they're just not as good as they used to be. And I saw them get spanked by Notre Dame. I saw them lose. I just don't think they're as good as they used to be. You got to pass the ball in 2023 to be really good. I think Byron Brown's going to have another huge game. I think if the Bulls simply just play turnover-free football, don't fumble the ball, and do a decent job at stopping the run and make them have to make some throws, they're going to win this game easy. USF's going to win this game 45-20.
I want to see that. That's a good game right there.
Yeah.
All right, so
there's one more team.
There's one more, and I have to say, it was the biggest win of the week, and that's why we saved it for last. It was some people's Florida State Seminoles going into fake Death Valley and Clemson and coming out with an overtime 31-24 victory over the Clemson Tigers.
This was a fun game. It was hard to look down.
I think my favorite part of this game was scoop and score, right?
Yeah.
That was crazy. The scoop and score was crazy. That's literally the momentum absolutely changed.
No, this is
moment.
this was, I'm pretty sure, I think it was late third quarter or early fourth quarter. Kalen DeLoach goes 54 yards for a scoop and score.
That's crazy.
It changed the game.
That's
exactly.
You're talking about
momentum.
Clemson going to score and go up 2 scores, like they're on their way, and then all of a sudden the game's tied, and that was the score that it held on. I know Clemson's new walk-on kicker missed a brutal kick. I know that sucks. I hate to be him.
I feel bad for the kid, but also I was so excited when he missed the kick. Yes. I was getting ready to be sad, and then he misses it. I'm like, yes, we're going to overtime.
Yeah, and then maybe Dabo Swinney could have maybe gone to the transfer portal for a kicker or something.
Yeah,
but I guess
that's not his style, man. He's doing old school, and it's not working anymore.
I would say a couple points that I'm seeing from FSU this year is they are not a first half team.
That's how FSU does it, man.
That's how they always. That's a prime
Jameis Winston era.
Honestly, if you have a good FSU team on your hands, a good way to know it is if they just absolutely underperform in the first half and then win games.
Last week, Boston College, I was like, man,
they're so fun.
They're about to be a crazy upset, and then FSU fights back.
It's demoralizing.
Same with this week. I looked up there, it's 14-0. I'm like, man, Clemson better win this game. And then I look, and I'm like, man, are you serious?
The second half comebacks are demoralizing as a FSU hater. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a big upset, and then it's they won 31.
There's room in your heart, man. You can jump on this wagon.
There's no room in my heart for FSU.
Come on,
there's room in my heart for this Florida Gator upset at the end of the year.
Just buy the house divided flag.
No.
Put it up.
No, I'm at the pass.
But there's no room in my heart because he's so massive for Johnny Wilson. We've kind of, Will and me have kind of ripped into him for dropping some easy balls, but he ended up with 5 receptions, 94 yards. Big game for him. He was the leading receiver, and then also Keon Coleman, who has just been making play after play this season, got the game-winning touchdown in overtime on a jump ball. So, I mean, Jordan Travis had a pretty decent game. I'll get the stats here just to be cordial.
I mean, after being banged up a little bit, in the Boston College game, he got banged up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he came back, but I don't know how he's dealing with that.
Yeah.
So that's
Jordan
still
Travis
good.
was 21 for 37.
It is the perfect week for a bye.
289 yards and 2 touchdowns. No turnovers for FSU. If you're gonna win on the road, you can't play mistake football. That's 2 weeks in a row that they've played close games, and they've not had the best games, but they've limited the mistakes as opposed to the other team. Boston College had too many penalties. Clemson had the scoop and score fumble. So that's a sign of a good team. And now FSU that kind of feels like a big hump for FSU in their road to kind of getting back to where they were. So
I think it's very similar to the Bucs Philadelphia game. Like, had the Bucs won that game, it would have been like, oh yeah, we're real. You see that, ESPN? We're real. So for FSU to win this game against Clemson, it is like, oh yeah, we do deserve to be in the top 4. Just so you all know that, nation.
Yeah, and I mean Clemson's no slouch. I know their offense has struggled. They got a new offensive coordinator. Not a huge fan of his style of offense. However, Clemson has absolute athletic freaks on defense. Dabo can still recruit. So they were able to actually stop the FSU run game, which no one really has done this season. And, I mean, they made FSU have to make some plays on defense, on offense, and FSU did it, man. You got to give them props, even as someone who doesn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can't predict the score because FSU has a bye week. So we're not going to miss any prediction from Will because it'll be next week to get to FSU's game against Virginia Tech. So that's about it. I mean, there was a lot of. You guys want to talk about the dismantling of Colorado real quick?
That was disheartening.
I was not there to watch the game, but I was at the beach, looked up, saw TV, saw it was 42-0, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I misread.
I honestly was like that. I was like, man, they are getting trashed on, especially after all this stuff. There's like Colorado's just. I mean, they're trash talkers, and man, they just got destroyed. So
yeah, it was rough. I didn't really watch much of it either, but I looked at my phone for the score at one point, and I was like, oh, it's 0-0. And then I was like, oh, I looked down, it's like 42-0.
It was, dude, and the pregame stuff, like the speech by Dan Lanning, the Oregon coach, was absolutely insane. I mean, just a great. And then the video they posted today where they was like showing like the Colorado team trash talking him, and the Oregon players were just absolutely ignoring him. I mean, it was a good look. Oregon with that win was convincing, and again, Oregon plays at Washington in a couple weeks. That is going to be an insane football game. I'm so excited for that.
What's it called? Washington's won now, right?
No, they're not one, but they're like Georgia still won, but they're top. I think they're 6 or something.
I think they're higher than that.
They might be higher than that, but they're Washington is very good.
I saw a thing that said
that was like a power ranking. I know what you're talking. They're 7 right now.
Oh,
Washington's 7 and Oregon's 9.
Okay.
But honestly, both of them could be higher. But yeah, that's a huge game.
I think this loss for Colorado is good because I think their heads were starting to get a little too big. So I think this is good. It's not going to help their season this year, but going forward, they're going to know, okay, you have to play hard every week, and anybody can beat you.
I think next year, that's their year because they got Travis Hunter. What is he, a sophomore?
Yeah, and I think Shadir will be back too.
Shadir's a junior.
So he could.
So he could come back. I think he will come back. I think he will come back. Deion Sanders' other son, Shiloh, right?
Yeah, and then I think they hosted the number 1 recruit in the country for a visit. So yeah, he's gonna recruit his butt off and get any transfer he can want. Yeah, no, this is definitely a wake up call for them. Colorado, I understand. They were getting a lot of love on the media and on social media, and it was getting a little bit stale for me. So I think it's good that they kind of got a little bit of a wake up call. I think that'll be good for their team. It'll take the target off their back just a little bit, which is good for the kids. Obviously, that target was against Colorado State. That target was them getting hurt, and this was just them getting absolutely dismantled. But yeah, I think Colorado host USC. Do they win?
How's USC doing this year?
They're very good.
I'd go USC.
I just think USC is going to win, but I don't think they're going to.
Do you think Colorado keeps it within 10 points?
Yes,
Yes.
I think it's
Okay.
going to. I think this game is going to be. They're going to come back strong. They're going to have a little shootout. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think USC has that good of a defense.
No.
Colorado's defense is a little sketchy because
No.
I mean they gave up a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of score to Colorado State, and like I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. You know, I think it's probably going to. I think it might be up 40s.
Yeah, no.
40s, 30s, maybe 50s.
I'm on the same page with you. I think Colorado loses a close one this weekend. I just think Caleb Williams is too good, man.
Yeah.
I think he'll outduel Shadur just a little bit. But
Caleb
I do
Williams,
think USC is the third best team in the Pac-12. I don't think they're better than either Oregon or Washington. I don't know who they play, but if they play either of them, but they will if they get to the championship. But yeah, so that's that. Any comments on the Notre Dame game? Did you guys watch that?
I was rooting for Notre Dame.
Other than
It
the
was
fact
brutal.
that the coaching is horrible.
Well, and he was defending it. Did you see that? He was
yeah,
defending.
I mean,
he
that's
was like, "I'm not
terrible.
trying to get a penalty." I'm
Sam
like, "Bruh."
Hartman though, man, man, he's raw.
Luke goes zesty for Sam Hartman, man.
Bro, have you seen that man?
He's pretty good looking. He's
Dude,
a handsome guy.
It's crazy, bro.
No, he's a handsome guy. Yeah, that was a crazy. I was watching it out on the go, and I was like, wow, that's a crazy game. And they scored on the last play. It's a walk off, but in real life. And then, I mean, what else? I mean, there was Washington State. Yeah, there were some good games. It was a good slate. LSU was a good game. But yeah, this weekend. Hey, guys, I got awesome news for you. We have Friday night premier college football.
Did see that.
9 p.m. Utah heads into Corvallis to play Oregon State on a Friday. So that's awesome. That'll be fun. Like we said, Florida heads into Kentucky at noon. And also USC goes to Colorado at noon. So that's a stacked noon slate. Texas hosts Kansas. Any takers on that upset? Kansas is 24 right now.
I'll take it.
I
We've been
don't know.
saying that Texas isn't the best, so
We'll see.
I'll take it.
I mean, maybe.
I think Kansas loses close.
I wouldn't put anything on it, but like
I'm not
just
gonna
for
lie.
the
I
sake
feel
of
like
saying
Kansas
it, like I
is
can
not
see
that
it.
good. Like, just Kansas, I feel like football
Texas
is
isn't
like.
great either.
Oh, Texas is pretty good.
I mean,
No,
What
but
is
Kansas
Texas,
is pretty. They're 3.
Oh,
Kansas
dang,
is
yeah,
pretty good this year. Their quarterback's good.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Ole Miss hosts LSU.
LSU's gonna win.
I think
I
LSU might blow them out too. I'm not.
Well,
sold
I
on
just
Ole
like
Miss.
feel like Ole Miss. Like I was like, if Ole Miss, what was the score against Alabama last week? Man, it's a tough schedule, bro.
24-10.
Yeah,
That's
that
life in
just
the
that,
SEC
that right
West,
there,
man.
That right there, I just feel like Ole Miss only puts up 10 against Alabama, bro.
Yeah, that was
Like,
weird.
I just like don't think that
They
LSU's
are at
gonna
home.
be that good.
They are at home,
It's
but I
at
think
Ole Miss.
LSU kind of owns Ole Miss, so I think that's going to be that. And then the college game day game, Duke is hosting Notre Dame.
Oh, Duke, give it to me. Whoa!
You got Duke.
Notre Dame.
I got-
It's the season.
I got
the
Notre
Duke
Dame, too.
quarterback, The Duke
I
quarterback
don't
is
care.
so good. The Duke quarterback is so good. I don't care what anyone says.
No.
That dude is raw.
I
But
think-
Sam Hartman's good too.
No, I think Notre Dame's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah,
but
Notre
Duke could
Dame,
definitely win.
man.
All right, so that is about all. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for bearing with us last week. Please listen on YouTube, Spotify, TB3 Sports Talk. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter /X, TB3 Sports Talk. And as always, we'll leave you with something for your ears to be happy.
Here you go, guys. In honor of Will, he'll be here next week, but he would want this.